Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Big round. Give a big round. Give a big.
We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the parents' lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the parents' lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Parents' Lounge.
Oh my God.
Such a fun day.
I love that
This
song.
is your Parental Mental Health Tuesday, so hopefully you'll laugh a little bit. You realize that you're not doing as poorly as you thought you were, because
you are not Jason.
You are not.
Well,
You're
you
not.
are.
No, we'll tell you a couple Jason stories who hit a deer today with a car. Well, but and that was honestly that was the highlight of his day. So we will get into that. I'm Jamie Kaler, joined as always by Jason Gowan. Kate Mulligan's here. One of my oldest friends who just recently guested and is back, Jeff Lewis. We didn't get enough of him, and I believe Justin Ruppel's going to make an appearance, and Carlos Alazaraki is going to be here.
God. Everybody.
But how are you guys? Welcome to another Tuesday night. Oh, I feel better already.
Hello.
Everyone's very
Yeah,
quiet. Kate,
wow.
Kate came stumbling in right exactly at 7. So my guess is, hello, Jeff Superstar Lewis.
My
That's
question
true.
is, you could see that someone was asleep in that bed. Can
Was
you
it
see
you?
that? No, there's no evidence for that, Jason.
Why can't I see it?
Brandon, it's
No.
Kate on tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, I believe Kate will make an appearance at some
Hi,
point.
sweet
I haven't
friend.
seen her yet.
It would be funny if there was just a body laying back there.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
it's- The question is, can you see the chip crumbs that are everywhere from whoever was sleeping in that bed?
Oh my God, dude,
It's
I'm
like
listening.
It's like the indentation in Psycho where
Explain.
it's like they got the curve of the body of the dead mother who's lived in the bed for 10 years. It's just like, it's the reveal at the end of like, oh my God, he's the wait, what?
Wow, spoiler for anybody who hasn't
Spoiler.
seen Psycho yet.
If you haven't seen
Yeah.
Psycho, the first one or even the Vince Vaughn one with
Was that
her
shot
name?
for shot?
girl, she passed away. What
Was
her
there a
name?
Psycho 2?
Anne
There was a
Heche.
Psycho
Anne
2.
Heche was in the Psycho too. Remember, they just did it. They redid it frame for frame. You don't remember that when they
Yeah.
they were like, gosh, I don't know what other movies. Is there any other stories we could tell? What if we just reshot Psycho frame for frame?
That's
For
so funny.
people
I
who
don't think I
don't
ever
like
saw
black
the
and white.
Vince Vaughn
I'm
version.
gonna reshoot Karate Kid only with finger puppets.
Ooh, yes.
Ooh.
That'd be
Cosign.
fun.
Speaking of which, let me give a little shout out to my friends at 16600. I was up in Sonoma this weekend where the screenwriter of The Karate Kid, Keenan, he's a winemaker now. He made so much money off of all of the Karate Kids that he wrote all the Takens. The same guy who wrote The Karate Kid wrote Taken, all of them.
The same person?
And
You-
he also
really?
wrote the Transporter series.
Wait a second. You mean the old Karate Kid
Yeah.
or the new one?
All the Karate Kids. He writes. He gets just a check from Cobra Kai because his characters he created. But think of the three franchises: Taken,
He did Taken?
Karate Kid, and Transporter. And then
My
I saw his
God.
house on a hill, on top of a vineyard, and I was like,
Oh my
"Oh
God.
yeah, he did well. He's a excellent." He
And
also
you
wrote
went there?
Taps. He wrote the first Taps. He's
Oh
got
my
like three
God.
other.
Tom
50
You know I
other
have to look
movies.
this guy up now, Jamie.
He's
Tom
Mark
Cruise
Kamen.
is like,
He
it's
was actually-
crazy, man. Remember
he's
that?
an
It's crazy.
amazing
It's
guy.
crazy.
with Taps with Tom Cruise.
Tom
yes.
Cruise is like killing people with a machine.
So anyway, I was up in Sonoma this weekend with my buddies at 16600. I'm going to give them a little
Oh.
shout out because they brought me up and basically to host this crazy outdoor jazz concert in the
Oh my
middle of a
God.
vineyard. It was like Field of Dreams where it was like cut out of the corn. It was cut out of the wine grapes, and there was a field, and then there was this garage that opened up, and they had Catherine Russell and Tony Saunders, like these Grammy award-winning jazz
Oh my
artists.
God.
And like wine and pizza, and all I had to do was kind of host and walk around and be
Jennifer.
funny, and it was the best weekend ever. So big shout out
my
to
God.
they've sponsored many of our stuff. 16600,
Yeah,
My
they're
sister's
such good
from-
guys.
My sister's from that area,
the Katuri,
Santa Rosa.
and Phil. Send our thoughts out to Phil Katuri. He's having some medical stuff done, and we love him very much. He's the head of the household up in there.
Jamie, what's the name of their like gazebo thing in the backyard? What do they call that? There's like a funny name for it.
In the tasting room part or what?
No, they're like at their actual house. Like Sam was telling us about it. It's like a really funny story.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
I'm
know.
trying to
Like a
remember.
collide
It'll
or
come to
something?
me.
I don't know. That's funny. Super good guys. And also it was just great to get away. I actually went away with my wife for the first weekend. We flew her sister in, and the Aunt Julie took the kids to the zoo and horseback riding and shopping. It was
God.
really funny. It was really funny. And so Kate and I got away for 2 days. And you know how you never do that, so you try to try to make it the perfect
Shove everything in
weekend,
there.
and
Yeah. Hot tub.
it's never quite perfect, I don't think.
Yeah.
The little tidbits that Jeff has just dropped are he's just like, my sister's from there, and you guys just hey, what's the
Yeah.
name of that gazebo? And then he's like,
I know.
when you
It's
try to make it a
okay. I'm
perfect-
used to it.
You know, when you try
Let's
to make
go
it
back and
perfect
talk
weekend,
about all
hot
those
tub.
things.
Yeah, let's go back down the Jeff list. So
My
Jeff, your
sister's-
sister is living in Sonoma?
No, she's in Santa Rosa, but I think
Very
she's
close. That's where the airport is.
Yeah, that's close. Yeah. That's Charles Schultz Airport.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
Well,
peanuts.
tell me about your sister in Sonoma. What
Yes.
does she do up there?
He's Charles Schultz is from Santa Rosa. The Charles Schultz Museum is in Santa Rosa. They actually imported his desk. You can see the actual desk he drew on. It's an amazing museum.
If you like
Okay.
peanuts, what if you don't care about peanuts and you thought Charlie
Don't
Brown was
have all
overrated?
That inside.
Maybe you like a guy with a German last name. I don't know.
Charles
I
Schultz.
mean,
Schultz. Hogan.
That's all I got. I don't know. I hot tub. I thought. there
Okay,
should be
so
a hot
now,
tub involved
Kate,
in
do you know why sometimes we just roll over Jeff's little interjections? Because sometimes we'll
Jeff-
stop and we'll go, Jeff, hey, tell us about that. He goes, oh no, that's all I had. Just my
Well,
sister.
No, that's all I got. Hot
I
tubs.
just want to let you
like.
know that I heard you say Mark Heyman. So I was very excited he wrote The Black Swan, but it turns out you said Cayman. And
It's
now
Mark
I'm with
Mark
you.
Heyman.
Still very
Cayman
excited.
Cayman Wines. Yeah, he's a
I heard
phenomenal
Heyman.
dude.
I
Is
heard,
just a
like-
freak of a writer. Apparently, he understands movie structure very well.
Jeez.
I mean, he's
He
had
does,
20. I think
man.
it was like 30 movies actually made. Think of all the movies
Crazy.
he like.
His
helped
IMDb is
and
crazy.
Pumped out. Yeah, it's pretty.
He's got a set of.
That's why he
special
owns a
skills.
vineyard and his own wine. Because here's the thing about wine. It's like somebody owns a polo team. Like you don't make money at wine. You spend your money on wine. So I kind of love it up there. I could live in Northern California. I liked it very much.
Mhm, mhm. Charles Schultz Museum.
Yeah, Charles Schultz. Are
Next door is the-
let me ask you, are your kids Peanuts fans?
Yes.
Yeah, they are. They have the big
Huge.
books, the big
Yes.
peanut collection.
I mean, my kids are like, yeah.
I'm
like
not.
They enjoyed the Peanuts movie.
Hmm.
I mean, I guess as a kid we watched the Peanuts Christmas, but I always thought it was. I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but I thought it was a little over.
One dimensional? Like what?
I wonder. Yeah, I get the Lucy's got. She's got the stand with 5
I mean,
cents for
he's
an
a bald.
opinion.
He's a guy with 2 hairs on his. It's
Pigpen is Charlie Brown's
He's-
kind of sad.
He's my son.
Yeah.
That's true. I
We
know,
went through. Neil was like, we're talking. My son, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure everybody knows, but is bald from alopecia.
Oh,
so
sorry. Okay.
that's not an I'm sorry. We're not sorry about it. But I,
I
was
didn't
like,
mean to.
here are your
No, I didn't mean to.
No,
Just
I'm like,
listen.
here are your options for Halloween. 1,
Okay.
Caillou. He's like, absolutely not. I'm like, 2,
Oh my God.
Mr. Clean. And I pulled up and I was like, do you not want to be the funniest kid at the school? And he was just like, I kind of want to be Blue from Rainbow Friends. I'm like, yes, but there's going to be other Blues from Rainbow Friends. There's only going to be one Mr. Clean, and he will not
That's true.
do it.
Can
But
I offer
think
one
could-
more suggestion for
Yeah,
him?
Charlie Brown. I'm thinking
No,
no.
no. Come on. the coolest bald guy of all time, baby, Lex Luthor. And here's what he does. He gets one of his best friends to go as Superman. And he's
really
Lex
good.
Luthor. Here's the thing about Halloween. You got a group. It's strength in numbers. Like in college, we all did Batman, and I was the Riddler, but we had Batman, Robin, the Catwoman, Commissioner Gordon. We had a girl who held a sign that said "Bam." Like, it was great. We took whatever party we went to, there was like 20 of us. Commissioner Gordon had a red phone. He just kept going, "Hey, Batman." That's all he did. It was great.
That's
It was such a fun party. So if he's Superman, I mean, if he's Lex Luthor, obviously, he's a crusher. And then he brings who's the girl with him all the time? Valerie Prime character.
Valerie Bertinelli.
Valerie Bertinelli. Hey, one day at a time, Jeff.
Ed Harris also. I mean, I'm a big fan of he's the sexiest bald man.
Oh, Ed Harris isn't even as bald as my kid, though. Ed Harris is
You're saying
bald
he
enough.
should go as Ed Harris? I'm
Yes.
Is that so bad?
So, by the way, Ed Harris listen, I love him. He's fantastic. He's 142 years old. Do you think anyone in grammar school knows Ed? Why doesn't he just go as Phil Silvers? How about that?
He can go as the right stuff, the young Ed Harris. I mean, he can go as
but how many kids in grammar school can he?
That's what's so special. Ed Harris.
What about Blue Man Group? What if he just?
I would love it if he was Blue Man.
We told him Voldemort.
Yeah. Nose, and then he goes with Harry Potter.
Yes. His comedy on this just isn't that great yet. I gotta tell you, like we have you could be such like if you can grow up and be funny about this, you are gonna be slaying P. You know what I'm saying?
The dude from Barry.
I know, our friend.
Oh my God, I love that guy.
Anthony Kerrigan, who also has alopecia, is a friend of ours.
Has anybody out there not seen Barry? I don't want to wreck Barry.
But he was before that. He was also in the Batman.
He was Lex Luthor, wasn't he?
No, he was in the where's Batman from?
Gotham.
He was also in Gotham.
Yeah.
Very serious assassin.
Yeah.
But also,
Barry, I don't know if you know this. Barry, the first year was hilariously funny, and by the last season, you're like, this is the darkest drama ever made.
They bait and switched us. They did.
Dude, I feel the same way about The Bear. Like everyone's like, the Bear is the best comedy on TV. I go, I'm confused when you say
I didn't.
It got nominated for Emmy for best comedy. The Bear.
I
love The Bear. I like The Bear very much. It's a Chicago restaurant thing. Nothing funny about it.
Hulu.
Hulu. The Bear's on Hulu. Yeah.
I think that's the one we don't have anymore.
You don't have the bundle with Disney?
I think pretty soon a lot of us are not going to have it.
We never used it or ESPN, so we just cut the bundle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They have a multitude of plans now. You can have a duo, you can have a trio, you can have commercials. You
can have a ruple.
Jeff, they're going to put them all back together and just make it cable again. Here's what my friends are doing. They're going month by month. So what they do is this month's Hulu month. So they just get Hulu. They get rid of everything else. And then they just deplete Hulu. They watch everything they can on Hulu. Then the next month they get rid of Hulu. They go to Netflix.
And then you rotate back when there's
and you rotate back. By the time you rotate it back, 6 months later, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's a pretty genius.
We do that as well with some of them. Like Netflix is in that rotation.
Well, there's no fee, right, for like stopping.
HBO is also like that.
Is there any fee for stopping and starting?
No,
I don't think there is.
I think so.
I
mean, now you suggested
it. Sometimes when you go to cancel, they'll even kick you a free month and say, "Hey, you want to stay? You want to stay for freezies?"
And sometimes it's free for 2 weeks. I mean, you can only have to pay anything.
You can pay like a 15-day free. You could watch the 15-day, but you only get that once. When you go to do that again. Oh, I thought Shannon was talking about, and then she goes, I have a form of alopecia and Crohn's as well. Oh, autoimmune. That is it.
Two words, Kate.
Well,
Truman Show.
Kate would know more about the autoimmune thing because that is a
I would. I'm so sorry, Shannon. Crohn's is obviously way worse than alopecia. Alopecia, there's 3 versions of it. There's totalis, universalis, and what my son has, which is patchy. But he's so patchy that we have to shave him. So he is like, Jeff, you've got more hair than my kid.
Yeah, he looks like Lex Luthor.
He does.
Honestly, part of me would love to get like a very specific area alopecia. Because now I'm like, all of a sudden, like shoulders are having like long. I'm like, what is happening? I can't stop it.
Let's get you that shoulder alopecia.
I would like alopecia in my nose.
No,
I have this one hair halfway between my eyebrow and my hairline that all of a sudden I just look and it's like 4 inches long and I keep plucking it and I want to It's
I
so,
don't even. I'm not even skin. I am actually just one follicle of hair.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's the back of my
Speaking
neck,
of medical issues, I have
Yes.
a story I want to bring up tonight, and I want to get everyone's opinion. There's a guy in
Okay.
Australia who has
Okay.
filed a lawsuit against a hospital.
Okay.
It has to do with his wife.
Okay.
I'm gonna open it up, Jason. You know, so I'm not gonna let you answer. But
Are you just
Kate,
giving us clues, or
I will slowly give you some clues. Obviously, it's about parenthood because that's by the
Okay.
name of the show. And for anybody out there who's looking to make some cash, you could do this too. He sued the hospital. I think it's like $1 billion. He sued for an insane amount of money,
I'm writing
Okay.
notes.
and it's because of something they had him do. Any idea?
Assess.
They had him cut the umbilical cord and he didn't want to.
You're very close. It doesn't. Not even that. Not
Okay.
even that.
They had him. He got an. Oh shoot! Hold on.
They made him go into the delivery.
Yes, that's basically.
They made him watch the baby get
They
born.
made him watch, and it was
Oh
a
my god! He
C-section.
sued because of that.
He sued because they said she's having a C-section and you should watch. And after he was like, I have PTSD.
Oh my
It gave
God, he
him,
can't-
Jason, what was it? It gave him,
It's burned in his skull.
it's burned into his skull, basically, to the point
Oh,
where he
goodness.
has horrible nightmares. And it's,
Yeah, he was having night terrors about it.
and it affected his relationship with his wife. He could
Yeah.
never see her the same way again because he saw her have a C-section. He saw her cut open.
This guy
So-
sucks.
So
Yeah,
I guess
nice.
they wouldn't stay together if they had both.
How much
been
is he
movie
suing
Saw.
for?
Like literally $1 billion. Obviously, it's going to get
Mm.
thrown out, but
Yeah.
he sued.
Did he sue the
Um,
hospital or the wife?
He sued the hospital. I
would
mean,
sue
probably
the
he's going to sue the wife
I
too.
would've
Because
sued the
let's
wife.
face it, it's her
Good,
fault.
I
That's
mean,
right.
yeah, the wife's coming next. Don't worry.
But
I
it
mean-
did make me think about like
Yeah.
the first time in my entire life I ever saw a human born was the day I saw my child born.
Yeah.
I know narcolepsy says, what about when she went through?
Yeah.
She if anyone should sue, she should sue.
Yeah.
It's so weird that we are, I don't know, puritanical in a way. It's like the most natural thing. Oh, everybody loves Jeff.
Everybody loves
I
Mike.
love the rest of you guys, but we didn't
Honey,
get caps. We didn't get all caps.
Yeah,
dude.
we didn't
You
get
guys-
caps.
I
Way to
haven't
go,
gotten-
Mike.
They love me.
I haven't
Thank
gotten
you,
all
Mike.
caps in a long time.
It's nice.
Well-
to meet
I do remember, like that was literally the first time I ever saw a human born. Had you seen
Yeah.
a child born before you watched it?
you. In high school videos, I think.
Did you see a high school video where? one
Yeah, I
came
got
out?
nauseous. I almost threw up because I almost passed out.
Wait, in high school or when your wife gave birth?
Both,
Both.
maybe.
High school was pretty. I mean, when you're in high school, it's pretty weird to see. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's
Now
very
it's-
disturbing in a way.
It was amazing. I'm not kidding. It was an incredible experience.
All right, he loves all us guys. All right, I love.
I
him.
got to see one birth and then another birth 1.5 hour later.
Was there was between them?
Wait,
Yeah.
this is the
Is that
twins.
So
normal
Dark Lord tried to swim back up in, and I get it because like for 9 months he's hanging with this dude, and then all of a
He
sudden
was just
you're
looking
really-
for the other one. He's like, "Where is he? Where is he?" Come
and
on.
he got,
Something.
but it was a half hour in between. But they also because Logan had swallowed an umbilical, the fluid, and
Yeah.
so
Well, they
he-
all do. All babies do.
But something happened with Logan's.
There was
and so they
meconium
had
in it.
Something
Ooh.
I don't know.
Oh,
What are you, a woman? Have you had birth before? You seem to know a lot
Wow,
about
yeah.
it, Mulligan.
Well,
What do you
that's
know?
what babies do is they swallow.
She's an
they
expert
They
all of a
all.
sudden.
That's how they aspirate the in the
Yeah.
womb. That's like their. That's. But then it becomes their waste. So that's why like women who get overdue,
oh,
they'll
that's
usually
right.
induce them because otherwise the baby will actually have their first bowel movement in the womb, and then because they ingest it, it's called meconium poisoning. It's
Right,
that-
that's the poop. The first couple
All right, any
poops.
really quick
Yes.
question. Is anyone else feeling nauseous just from this discussion? Or
I'm
is it
gonna
just me?
pass
Is it
out.
just
I'm
me?
in-
So
I'm
maybe
got a
a
little
little
woozy
bit
when
trying
she
to stay
said
focused and professional, but it
womb.
wasn't working.
Oh no.
It's so interesting, and it's so funny because why is it so I don't know, dirty in a way when we're growing up? Like it's just one of those things where it's not even like back in the old days. My father, I don't think he ever watched one of his 6 kids born. He sat in the waiting room with a cigarette. It wasn't like this beautiful event that was like, oh my gosh, this is a human coming out.
Yeah,
Weird.
nobody tells you how big it can get. Like you think the vagina is small, and then all of a sudden it's like, how does it get to be that size? Like that's what's amazing to me.
That honestly, as I was watching it, my wife, by the way, put a mirror so she could watch it. She loves
didn't.
science.
I was gonna say you asked if anybody had ever seen. I've given birth twice. I've never seen birth.
Oh, you didn't?
You had no way to. You couldn't.
Have
look
you ever
down
seen a
there.
video of another child being born?
I've seen pictures of me, like
You
the
didn't- what did you-
nurse.
did
The
you look
nurse, like
down?
I have pictures of Neil and James being. I mean, but I didn't get to watch it live. I was in it.
I took
so
a
funny.
GoPro in, so I have the footage of
You
all
do
of it.
not. Is that
I
true?
really do.
It's amazing. That's amazing.
So I asked him beforehand. I said, "Can I videotape this?" And he's like, "Yes, but I want the monetization rights on YouTube." And
Did you
so
say that?
he did.
Mine's on Laserdisc.
That's pretty funny. I
Once,
thought you were gonna say I thought he was gonna say I want a copy of it. It sounded creepy as you first started to come out.
No,
with it.
he made the joke that he was going to monetize the video on YouTube.
My wife
Yes.
watched it. She loves science, though. That's her degrees in science, and I watched it. And my degree's in political science. Not a lot of
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of blood in that one.
Wait,
No.
Kate really watched it?
Yeah, she did. There was a mirror. They had a mirror, and she said,
That's
"Yeah, I want to
incredible.
watch." And she watched
She
it.
was she.
happen.
Did she not take the epidural?
Oh no, she took an epidural.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I was not in my right mind after that epidural. I was
No,
like,
She wasn't either.
I was
And
like,
by the
Jack,
way,
I would never have thought to even ask for a mirror. That's so.
as someone who has a herniated disc and I know somewhat back problem, the apparently epidurals can cause very often back problems for the rest of your life
Yeah.
because the needle's
I
in
know.
between the
I'm
vertebrae,
lucky.
right?
Oh
Yeah.
wow! I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of women get serious problems with it. But here's what's funny: when I saw the baby coming out, it all clicked. You know how like women, the frame is just different from men, and when you're younger, it's just the math of it all doesn't make sense. How the hips and everything, and then when you see the baby come out, you're like, oh yeah, that's okay. Now I get it.
That's
Like
evolution.
because everything has to open up to let this baby
Everything
out.
opens.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
our
so
kids were-
confused about what I was even looking at because like it's so moist and there
It
was
looks
like
a
I was
creature.
like
yeah. There's so much fluid. They don't tell you about the fluids.
I know.
no, and like I was like, what is this hairy wet coconut I am seeing?
Yeah.
And then there was an eye, and I was like, "Oh, Jesus, it's an octopus!"
Yeah.
And so like I was really very concerned about what I was actually
And
experiencing.
they don't tell you it has a cone head too. Like when it first comes out,
Conehead. Dickie and I both saw our first son. We're like, oh my god, he's Predator.
that's what I
When Logan was born, he looked like Squidward.
Dude, guys, what's
No.
happening?
Oh
All
my
I saw was
God.
red, and I saw the red hair come out right away, and then I was like,
They
I
were
go,
born with red hair.
Oh
yeah,
my
they both were
God.
born with red hair. But what's funny is it very, very light, and then they were bald for the first 2 years of their life. Like, but they had a little bit of red hair, and when I saw the red hair, I was like, all right, I guess they're mine. Like that was, I was like, I
That's
guess
it.
we're not doing a paternity test. I
Oh my
guess we're
God.
okay.
Did
It's
you
really
guys know
funny.
gender before you gave birth? Anybody?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
did
we
not.
did.
We didn't know. And either.
You didn't?
No, not with
No,
No,
either.
we
we
wanted to
didn't.
paint the nursery.
We were so
Um,
excited. I mean, a boy and a girls.
We did the genetic testing to see what they were.
We did genetic testing, but not to see what they were. They kept the results from us. Although with James, I was sure it was a girl just because of the way it felt so different than Neil. And I like in hindsight, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what a boy feels like in your body. And so James
Feels-
felt very different, which tracks.
Was it like
Okay.
Sunday mornings with Dickie curling up, and you could feel the poking somewhere on your body, just a certain tap, 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 like,
There
hey,
was-
good morning.
I will tell you, James was actually more cooperative in the womb, and Neil was not. Like Neil just never kicked when I needed him to. James was always just like, and I was like, oh, my little girl is so cooperative. So I was then shocked when he was born because I was just in my head. I'm like, yeah, this one's it's a girl, it's a girl, it's a girl. When it came out and they're like, it's a boy, I was like, it is. Like I was so happy
No.
because
Oh,
I
that's funny.
loved having a boy.
And they've now since changed roles because Neil, you're much more cooperative.
He is. And I would say also James feeling like a girl feels about right.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's all
He went
fluid.
shopping with me the other day and he's like, he said, I know good fashion. These pants are good fashion. And then I wore them to work. And quite literally everybody at school was like, love those pants, love those pants. And I was like, James picked them out.
Oh my God.
Oh,
That's
that's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah. So
I have 2 girls, and I liked them right away. I was like, oh, and everyone's like, don't you want to have boys? I go, no, I'm too old. I don't want to have to like get into a fight with some 16-year-old kid when I'm in my 70s.
Yeah. I would have been
Yeah,
happy with
it'd be really
with-
hard. But now that the girls are starting to get close to the teen years, I'm kind of on the fence about boys
Yeah.
and girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so
My,
lawsuit anyway. I mean, I wasn't.
wow.
I wasn't. I thought I'd be woozy because I can't look at blood. Like
That's
I
what I was
couldn't.
wondering. Yeah, there's
I
probably a lot of
can't.
men that have
I
that.
can't watch Joe Theismann's leg broke, and I can't watch any of that stuff. And then when I watched it, I was actually kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Didn't bother me that much. I
It
mean, I
was
still
really
sued. Don't
amazing.
get me wrong. I sued because I want the cash.
I actually, Joey said, Jason, hope all's good. Leave PA. You belong in Florida. I actually left Florida to come back here on it because I met some woman who eventually got knocked up and bore me twins. So here I
Yeah.
Oh
am.
my God.
Here you are.
Choices were made. I mean, listen, if you were in Florida, you'd probably be a drug runner anyway. So maybe it worked out for the best.
Yeah. Or just
I mean, you'd be happy. You'd probably be playing in a calypso band. And,
He wouldn't have hit a deer. He would have hit an alligator.
yeah, talk about your deer. You hit it. What's funny is when I did the show. By the way, we're doing a show. I'm there in like 2 weeks doing a show with Ruppel and you. And when I had to drive from Buffalo in the middle of the night, every single person I saw, from getting off the plane to renting the car to talking to Jason, everyone was like, "Dude, you're gonna hit a deer." They were like, "It's 100%. It's a 3-hour
Really?
drive in
It's
pitch
gonna
black."
happen?
Everyone's like, "You're gonna hit a deer." I'm telling you, don't take your eyes off the road for 1 second. Don't look at the radio. Don't look at. If you have to do anything, pull over. You're gonna hit a deer. And I laughed, and I was like this, and I did see a bunch. I saw a bunch like fly. I was like, "Oh!" It was like Frogger trying to get down the road. And then today, Jason
my
saying,
God.
I text him. I go, "Hey, how's your day going?" And all I get is a picture of a smashed car. And he goes, "I hit a deer." I go, "Yeah, yeah."
Ugh.
I was going to get bananas and milk for the Three Monsters at 6:00 this morning. And on the highway, he popped up in front of me and destroyed the front of my vehicle and my transmission that I just had replaced.
And did he sue?
He there is a lawsuit pending, I understand. He
Joe Bodo.
was really very rude about the whole thing.
He probably didn't make it. We can be honest. He probably
No, he walked away from it, which made me so angry.
He had a limp?
but he went somewhere to die.
That's
There's no
what I
way.
think.
If the
I've
transmission,
been hit by a car 3
You
times,
see
and here
the
I
picture of
am.
his car, he was going 45 miles an hour. You
I
can't.
was
It's
going
unsurvivable.
45.
yeah, I don't think he's dead
Well,
somewhere.
he's
Why are
likely
we
dead,
so
but he
negative?
walked,
Like,
he
how do you
walked out of there.
That deer could have made it. Come on.
I mean, I
Oh,
hit the
dear.
brakes,
Wait,
but
wait, you gotta listen to Katie. Goes, "Where the hell were you going for bananas?"
from my house to Tops, Katie.
Man,
I had a friend in college who missed. We played soccer together. He was on the soccer team with me, and in New England, and he hit a moose, and he went through the windshield of a Volkswagen Beetle and missed the entire season. Broke his collar.
Oh my God.
Broke all 4 legs on the moose. I think they cut it up and ate the moose for like the next 3 years, and yeah, he missed an entire season because he went through the windshield after hitting a moose.
I didn't know people survive going through windshields. Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
That seems
Yes, they
like
kind of do. It's weird.
obviously.
you guys
yeah.
remember that movie, The Descent? There's a British
Yeah.
version.
Yes, the cave and
Yes, but the opening of the movie.
yes, with the
Remember?
poles, right? Yeah, the metal.
I
oh,
think about
yes.
that every time
Yes.
I'm on a highway.
I don't remember that. Some car from in front of them.
No,
Gets
it's like one of
impaled?
those. It's like, yeah, they get impaled. Like goes
Metal.
through
What do they call them for cement? Like the metal.
God, what are
Rods.
they called? The
They're
rods.
called rods. They're called rods.
They're
Kate.
called rods. Jeff and I agree. They're called
Okay.
rods, but it happens. So it happens the way you imagine it must happen in real life, which
Yeah.
is there's
pretty gross.
there's like no scary music leading up to it. Rebar. Thank you, Mark G.
Rebar.
It's called rebar.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Mark G.
Thank you, Katie. It's called rebar. And I gotta tell you, it's so like they're just driving like is it the husband that dies, right? It's like the wife is driving and like
The
and
husband
next thing
dies, yeah.
he's pinned
Yeah,
and
it's
dead.
yeah. I was trying to think, but it is him.
It
What's
is
And then-
crazy?
yeah.
I mean, that happens. It's
Yeah.
usually a tire flipping off or a piece of lumber. Remember Final Destination, the one with
I
the
still can't drive behind a logging truck.
logging truck and the logs come off and kill everybody.
Oh my god.
You know, there was a garbage can in the middle of the freeway that fell off a truck and it came barreling towards us. And I had an argument to this day because I hit it straight on purpose. and the other people would be like, why didn't you try to swerve out of the way? But I felt like, and maybe this is stupid, but I felt like swerving, I could have had an accident, but I've hit it straight on. I don't know. I don't know what the better choice is.
Was there bad damage? I don't know. It sounds
It was damage to the front of the car, but I also feel like if I had tried to swerve, I could have hit somebody else or just lost control.
That happened to me once, and I was, to this day, my friends still talking about it. It was the greatest reactionary move I've ever made. Any sport, anything. I was on the 405 right in Santa Monica. I was flying 60 miles an hour. I had just passed the 10. I was going north by like Sunset Boulevard.
Okay.
This pickup truck in front of us, refrigerator falls off the back.
Nope.
Oh my God.
I have two guys, my buddy Mike Jennings, and another friend in the back. I think we're coming home from golf or something. I'm in the middle lane and I see it. And within a fraction of a second, my eyes go to the rear view mirror right there as I slide over.
Oh my God.
And he's like this, and the refrigerator goes by the car like 6 inches away. And then I swerve right back in and nobody spoke. Everyone was like, oh my God.
Wait, but somebody behind you must have.
I mean, I was shaking. I looked and I looked. Somebody hit it. Oh no, two cars back. I think the guy got it. He couldn't get out of the way, and they were coming in unison, and he hit it.
Well,
and I was like, I was shaking for like an hour. I think we pulled over like the next exit. I was like, okay, I think we just survived.
Was it flat or was it sitting?
It was rolling towards me. It had come out of the back of the pickup truck and was rolling. And now I'm still like you. I'm super like, if I'm on the freeway and I see, like the other day I was on, and the guy had like the stacks of the wood on the back, and I was like, dude, I'll go 2 lanes over, go past.
Yeah, they strap on so much.
I'm going
stuff.
90 miles an hour to get away from the thing. Yeah, those things go over all the time, man.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Insane.
Oh my God, that's an insane story. There was part of me that was like,
scary.
Jamie, did you die?
Scary. I've had some crazy
and he's
knock
through
on
that
wood.
refrigerator.
I mean, don't you think about those times, Jeff? Like you're probably more like me than the other two, where like we've been close to like, wow, I survived that. Okay, wow, that's how this day's going.
Yeah. I get. There's some scary things. Like
There's a couple days where you're like, oh,
yeah.
Or even like places you would go. Like I remember like back in the day, like you'd be out or something. Everyone's like, hey, we're going back to so and so's house or something. Like, yeah, all right. And all of a sudden you're like in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, I just tell you a quick story. Yes.
My sister called me and said, Jeff, I need you to go to Mexico. My husband, my brother-in-law was racing motorcycles in Mexico, lost the keys to his car. I had to go to San Diego, get a spare key, go into Mexico. After I got him his keys, it got dark. I couldn't find my way out of Mexico. I couldn't find my way to the border. I was so scared. I don't know if you've been there.
Did you die?
I died.
I don't guess.
But I found my way.
Have you heard of Mexico? You know Mexico?
What?
And it's just dark all the time.
It's dark all the time.
There's no lights. There's no street lights.
No, there's freeway. This is like highway. There's nothing, nowhere, anywhere. And I was so scared. I mean, I don't want, I'm in a country. I'm with my car. I'm like, I'm an idiot. I don't know. But it was
there's so many things I have to go back to though. Your sister. Just wait.
Hold on.
Is that to back?
Here's Troy goes, Hangover 4, the Mexican.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Oh my God. Okay, so I need to understand the situation. Your brother-in-law was in Mexico because of why?
He's a motorcycle racer. He used to, but he races motorcycles with friends, and he went to a track in Mexico near the border, and they were racing all day, just driving around, whatever they do. And his keys must have fallen out of his motorcycle pocket.
Okay.
And
so he's bad at his job. The doctor dropped his scalpel, is what you're telling me.
Yes. And so I had to go get a copy from San Diego.
Who's in San Diego? If it's your sister,
the dealership
screwed you. Okay.
A dealership that said
in Los Angeles, by the way. You drove 3 hours to San Diego, got a key, then drove a couple more hours into Mexico.
Right.
Where in Mexico? How far?
From Charles Schultz.
It was right on the border. I mean, tell me something like Matamoros. I don't know what's next.
Well, that's not a problem because Tijuana is very safe. Tijuana is not going to be a problem for anybody.
It's all scary there. I'm sorry. I'm scared there. I'm scared.
I hate Mexico, and I went to a few volleyball tournaments. I hated Mexico.
No,
Jeff, you were about to be canceled for saying Mexico is scary, and Jamie just came in and saved you.
I hate Mexico.
He took that on the body.
I don't
Let
care.
me tell you something, Kate. I have friends who are from Mexico. They will say
they hate Mexico.
Some parts are scary.
You can't go, man. You get kidnapped in places. What are you, crazy?
I went there with my
You can't go to
family, and
Mexico?
there was a lot of bribery, but
how did I end? How'd you get out? Are you in Mexico right now, Jeff?
right now.
Oh, gosh, we gotta get you.
Right,
hey, we should start a GoFundMe. By the way, I'm suing Mexico.
Yes. They made me watch it.
How did you get out? Did you just?
I just kept on driving. By the grace of God, I saw these lights up there. It was the border crossing.
But if you were heading south, Jeff, eventually you would have hit the ocean.
That's very logical, Jason. I mean,
that's not true. You could have got down to Nicaragua. You could have got. You can go all the way through, and then you get across a canal. But I think there's a bridge.
I'm sorry. It's those. Yeah.
I used to go down because I lived in San Diego for all those years, and we would, I remember in the Navy, like a bunch of sailors in my division would always, I go, when you go to Mexico, dude, you're in a different country. People, they think they're Americans and they're invincible, and they go to other countries, and you're like, their laws are different. We were in Saudi Arabia, and I had to tell the guys, I go, hey, listen, just so you know, drinking and driving in this country, execution. They were death. They would put you to death for certain things. Remember the one dude got caned?
Can you even drink in Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
I don't think you can. I know
because
remember the stadium, you couldn't in Qatar, you couldn't drink.
Yeah.
They weren't serving alcohol. Yeah, it's like serious. You tell these kids, but the kids ate. I hate Mexico, not in that way. Now I'm a Jimmy Buffett. Troy, by the way, Troy's the MVP tonight so far. Narcolepsy, you got to step it up in the Navy.
Now, did you have females?
Dude, listen, not to be totally morbid. Well, we went over to Southeast Asian stuff, and we ended up taking dudes home. Didn't make it. Like, people go in ashore, and it goes wrong. Things go wrong. Yes, these kids are 18 years old. Kids died over there, like OD'd or whatever. And we had to put them in the cooler and bring them home. Yeah, it was really awful.
Okay, but that's not from that. It wasn't like they were murdered by the gangs of Siam.
No, but that has, I don't know. Listen,
especially
did you have
females in your. You had no females
not on my ship. We had no females on my ship.
Because that would be.
But we would go down to Estero Beach
before
for
the military
insane
was co-ed.
volleyball tournament. That was, by the way, speaking of the 80s, there was in the 80s there was this volleyball tournament at Estero Beach where people OD here. Actually, I would argue more people OD here now at children care centers. We won't go into that, but nowadays it's pretty crazy stories.
You're in a place today.
Yeah. I know. I am in a place. I made banana bread just recently. It's very good.
Is that what the banana bread just brings it out in you?
The banana bread brings it out. Well, listen, I don't know. Oh, it's a scary world. I felt fear for Jeff in Mexico because I used to go down there and I'd be the same. And also, then you're like a stupid American, like who I don't speak Spanish, and everyone's like, we do. And
and I crossed a what do you call it? A toll booth. I paid the money. It was a dead end. I turned around and they said, "Do I have to pay to go back?" He's like, "Yeah, you got to pay both ways." And it's just like, okay. By the way, the country. I'm not saying the people. I'm just saying the country scares. The parts of it that scare me. I'll leave it at that.
There are parts of this country that scare you too, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you remember? All right, a few months ago, the woman was going into Mexico to get plastic surgery. She was going from North Carolina, and she went down through like Galveston or wherever she's going into, Juarez or whatever. And there was a kidnap. They went to get kidnapped, and they got killed. Yeah. All I'm saying is, in other countries, a lot of us don't adhere to their rules. We think we're Americans, and those 5 dudes just got out of Iran. We still have guys in like Russia in prison who can't get out. It's like when you go into other countries, it gets touch and go.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not fair. Jason would have made banana bread if it wasn't for those meddling kids and their damn deer.
Our next guest is here, Mr. Kaler.
I know. Let's bring him in. I'm sorry. Let's bring him in. Oh, is he? Oh my gosh, it's Carlos. I thought it was Mr. Ruffle.
It says get in a place where you're well lit. It's amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Reno 911 and every single cartoon that has ever been made, Brandon is going to be very excited because you're one of his favorite voice actors. Mr. Carlos Rocky is here today.
Hey,
When you
everybody.
say I'm Hispanic in Mexico scares the F out of me, so don't feel bad. Thank you, Mark G.
Tienes que estudiar con Duolingo cada día en su teléfono.
By the
Español es
way-
una lengua de europea. Here's the deal, folks. Americans are so afraid of Spanish because they think it's a brown language, when in fact it's another white European language from Europe, like
true.
Italian, like French.
Very true.
It's from
It's
Europe.
not that we're
It's a
afraid of
white
it because
people
it's
language.
Spanish.
Don't be afraid of it.
We're afraid of it because we don't understand it, and we're afraid of things we don't understand.
You're right. I'm afraid of my children then because I don't understand.
I mean, listen,
them.
you're not afraid of. I would argue that a lot of people are afraid of German. So let's,
German just sounds so mean, though.
Frankenstein's
Yeah.
The enunciation is so hard. It just seems
Yeah.
It
exhausting.
just feels like, oh,
No,
you are
but-
yelling.
Even Yiddish is
Speaking of it, and I don't want to go back to stereotypes or anything, but Carlos Alazraqui is also known as the Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Yeah,
I don't know
well,
if you're allowed to do it anymore or if you'll be canceled for it, but it was
Well,
quite
he's
a
on
campaign.
strike right now.
Hey, before there was quote unquote this supposed wokeism, which is I think overblown, but I was getting canceled way back when. I was getting calls. They're like, "You're a sellout. You should do this. I hope you die." And then the guy,
Oh my
guys,
God.
it was just a Chihuahua. This was pre 9/11, so they needed escape Chihuahua, and that was it. They thought there were some Latinos that thought it was offensive, and so even way back then in '97,
Wow.
I was trying to get canceled. Just for being the voice of a talking dog.
Immediately. Oh,
Yeah,
What
I
about
didn't
the guy-
even, I
who
didn't
was
even
Pepe
Russell
Le
Brand
Pew?
anybody. I didn't.
Was Pepe Le Pew Mel Blanc? Who did Pepe Le Pew?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mel Blanc did all those
Yeah.
guys, right?
Yeah.
As Matt Weinhold said, the rapist skunk.
I guess he's got a little Russell Brand in him. Oh my gosh, everyone's
That's what I
popping these
said.
days. Holy
I
guacamole.
say it here, it comes out there.
I will tell you, for anybody-
Broadcast news, Aaron Brooks. But yes, you're talking about traveling abroad. You even in Italy, we went in 1987 on a tour. We were in Rome and walking down the wrong street at the wrong time of night. We're like, no, let's turn around. That was just you have to.
I think he froze.
Or is he just playing a game? Kate, you were going to say
No,
something. What were you
I-
going to say? Oh, no, he's back.
Right in. No.
See, Carlos, this is why we do sound check
No.
before the show. This is specifically why we sound check people.
They
But
sound check
because
me.
you're
Wow.
such an
It's
important
incredible.
cat and we love you and you're so funny, we let you go with it. Kate, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying, for anybody who's offended, Carlos did the other night at our friend's party. His friend came up. They wanted to say something in front of us and just started speaking to each other in Spanish. So he does actually speak Spanish, if
Yeah.
that matters to anybody who's worried about the Chihuahua. Because I was like, who are you talking about? What are you like?
Well, we talk about it all the time, but I think it's so selective because people will choose and go like, oh yeah, you can't do the Chihuahua. But the Irish, the Lucky Charms guys still going strong, and or
That's
Scottish.
true.
Tom
I mean,
Kenny
you can
said-
Lucky Charms guy.
Let's check the Scottish guy, dude. How's he doing these days?
Archie McLeish.
He's
I
doing
forgot
great,
about
but
the Lucky Charms
as
guy.
Tom Kenny once famously said, there's no Romanians complaining about Count Chocula is offensive to all Romanians.
That's really funny.
I
I didn't realize he was from Romania.
We were supposed to be playing baseball until 7:45. Got beat.
Dude, we're gonna have to let you go, brother. You're cutting in and out, man. Can we set you up again?
A bad internet connection. I'm sorry. I'm competing with
Do you-
two girls right now that are on
No,
devices.
that'll do it.
Yeah, you gotta. I tell my kids to get off their iPads when I'm on the show. Come on, there's only so much
Yeah, that's
bandwidth.
true.
Pull it together, Carlos.
There's only
Wait, do
so
you remember-
much
guys remember
bandwidth.
the
I ain't
show
got
Bizarre?
5G.
I
like a
ran
night
into a
gallery.
friend of ours, Gary Anthony Williams from the Boondocks.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was flying back with us, and we were talking because he was at Afro Comic Con doing voiceover stuff. Is that you guys are traveling the world because apparently everybody is digging voiceover actors these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one career where we can go and work outside of the strike. It's we are allowed to go to cons. Of course, I shared a room with our lovely Jason, 2 queen beds. It was kind
It
of
was a
romantic.
lovely date. Thank you.
Yeah, you want to talk about that? 'Cause
Yeah.
that was Jason's birthday. By the way, Carlos, that's the coolest thing anyone's ever done. To go, hey man, I'm
Yeah.
at this crazy Comic Con, I'm traveling, but you know what? come on by, we'll share some scotch, and that's
Oh, that's
just a
awesome.
class act, brother. We
Come
love
on
it.
by,
Yeah.
Noah.
And it was his
Risk your life
birthday.
for the animals in the
Where
ark.
was it?
Well, I almost died on the
You
way
almost
there.
died.
Yeah, it was really crazy. So there was this freak rainstorm that
Biblical.
caused torrential flooding. And you know how at Universal Studios, when you're on the earthquake ride and the water rushes and hits your tram car? That happened to me in real life trying to get to Carlos. And when I tried to turn around to go back home, the road had closed. And I kept getting roads closed, and I got hit with water. I watched another car get pushed down into a stream. People lost their lives that night. I was very lucky that I found a route that got me off the beaten path up over a hill, and I found a way onto the turnpike. And I
Where
made
was
it to-
this? What
Where
part
was
of the
this? Yeah.
country?
Everybody
In the
wants to know.
Poconos. In the Poconos. Yeah.
Oh,
Jason,
wow.
people lost their lives that night, and you had a Glenlivet 12 and some garlicky cheese bread.
Yeah,
That's a
my
good
night turned
brother.
out better than some.
Yeah. It was good. It was nice. We got to see the con. You got to see all the cosplayers. You know, find out who the next serial killer is going to be. Hey, I saw that guy at the Colossal Con.
All right, now that Carlos is here, I want to get into our main story for this evening.
Yes.
Okay.
I found an article, and I had a big birthday too this past week. I turned 59, I guess.
You're a
Yeah.
weak pup, you.
I know a lot. So I wanted to talk to you about this because this is a listicle I found, and it's people over 40 are sharing very practical advice they believe young people need to hear.
Oh.
What is your, before I go down the list, do you have things that you tell people, Carlos, like your kids? Like my kids, I always say to them the same thing. I'm like, focus on the task at hand. Live in, like they'll talk about down the road. I go, live in the moment, be in the now. What do you say?
Well, when they get mad or they do something wrong and Laura's yelling at them as she rightly should, I go, don't do it to make us happy. Just do it for yourself. Otherwise, it's going to be harder in life. Do it for yourself, not for us. You don't have to make us happy. That's not going to happen. But I'm telling you, if you don't do it for yourself now, life gets harder. Or you marry somebody weird like Elon Musk.
He has like, I didn't realize he has like 12 children with 3 different women. I had no idea.
I didn't realize there were 3 different women that were willing to go there.
He's probably already been, oh, please, for that much,
Listen,
please. The woman
well,
just
we brought
slept
some
with
of
Al
them back from
Pacino.
last.
She
They have
slept
a
with Al
chance to go to the
Pacino so
moon,
she
to-
could be
to the
financially
moon.
secure for the rest of her life.
All right, we're gonna do this tonight. It's gonna be so good. Lay down, shut up. Let's go to bed. Come on.
You're the young Pacino. No, I'm not the young Pacino. I'm not going to turn you on with a young voice. You're out of order. Get out of this bed. You're out of order.
So good, dude. Jeff, what's your favorite piece of advice you give your kids all the time?
What do I tell them? I told them I try to give them choices as much as I can because I don't. My parents never gave me any choices, so I tell them, "Do you want to get your hair cut? What kind of foods do you like?" There was like my son has long hair, and he's 13, and my dad never. They just cut my hair. They never asked me my opinion. They never asked me what I wanted to do. So, I mean, I don't know if that's advice, but it's certainly something that I
agree with that in many ways. My wife picks out all the kids' clothes and stuff, and she's kicking it and trying to dress. She wants to paint her walls black and put a solar system on the ceiling. And I'm the opposite. I'm like, baby, paint it however you want. I'm like, it's your life. It's your choice. I want you to start making choice. But a lot of times my wife will ask choice where I like, do you want to go to Malibu Beach or do you want to go to Santa Monica Beach? And I go, Kate, that's a choice. That's like saying, do you want to, they have no knowledge. They can't make a decision in that way. So I'm all for making decisions, but there's things where I go, you're wasting time. You make the decision. You don't know either of those items. You're chucking
That is
about
so
it.
posh. We took them to Venice. We want you to see the freaks right away when you're kids.
Yeah.
Get used to it. We're going to Venice Beach. Go to the bathroom. Dodge the homeless guy. Get in there.
We just
Find
went down
it.
a
That
couple
guy's
weeks ago.
snake.
Kate,
Find
what's
a pair of
your favorite
sunglasses.
advice to your kids?
My favorite advice to my kid, we just sort of have like a family motto, which is all we want for them is to be happy, safe, and kind. So that's like, I don't know that we've
Good luck.
achieved it, but
is 2 out of 3 okay, or is that all
listen,
3?
I'll take 1 out of 3.
I'll take one. At this point, I'll take 1 out of
They're
2.
not often happy, but like they both are kind, which is
That's it.
good. and they're both, and like what I mean by safe is like, we live in an area where people do street racing all the time.
Yeah.
And we were on the street walking up. It's daylight. There's no reason but these guys are zigzagging, going up, racing up next while we're walking. And I said to my boys, I hope you guys will remember, if you are ever in a car when somebody's doing this, doesn't matter if they're going to think you're stupid, doesn't matter if they think you're lame, you get out of that car. Because this is that is my worst nightmare, is that they're going to end up in one of these cars that's doing these crazy street stunts and end up like Tony Baker's kid, dead on Glen Oaks Boulevard.
Or don't go drive in a rainstorm like Jason and get swept away like Noah.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude's in rainstorms, or he's hitting deer. What is that cat doing? And
Carlos, I hit a deer today with my car.
You're a murderer.
Deer.
He killed Bambi.
What are you talking about? It's
There's
in season, brother. That's just good hunting. Nice, well played, sir.
It's good jerky too. I mean,
it's great jerky. All right, here's the list. So this is number 1. It says, love life. It is short. Be grateful for everything. The biggest burden you'll carry is your own thoughts. Learn to live in the present. The past is just a memory, and the future is just your imagination. Hard to do. I think it gets easier as you get older. I mean, the thing about letting your thoughts go, that's super hard.
Yeah, that's okay.
But
I kind of want to bring them. I kind of want to bring them to the memory floor to see where my mom lives and how they are. Not like a scared straight thing. It's like, you're gonna be here, but in reality, no. Just to bring them there to see that there is a finality to life, and that it's something I never did as a kid, and maybe it's too much, but. That's a thought that I've had. You go see it. Go see what it's like. You don't have to stay there. We'll stay there for 5 minutes and then you can leave. I don't know. Who knows?
I think the first time in life you lose somebody very close to you is when it all clicks. Yeah. And you go, this is temporary. Okay.
Yeah.
It happened to me in my 20s, and then I was like, oh, okay. I'm going to do what I want for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, were you going to say something?
My sister lives by an airport.
My sister.
Here's one of my favorites. Here's one of my favorites. It says number 2, no one really cares what you do, and the sooner you can accept it, the sooner you can be at peace with yourself. I think that's pretty honest. I think I like that one a lot.
There is like a certain.
That's what they tell all the Oscar guests before they arrive. And it's Billy Crystal. You know what? No one really cares what you do. So just make your speech. When the music plays, get off. Okay, it's just a gold trophy that's going to collect dust. And it's gonna, it's gonna end up killing somebody in a family argument. So don't worry about it. It's a stupid trophy. Relax.
It's gonna break it out.
That's so good. Number 3, take care of your knees and back. No truer words have ever been said. Wow. I rolled myself around and hurt my back so many times when I was younger, and I wish I hadn't done that.
My knees are from running on the pavement. My God. Okay.
And your teeth. Although I feel like dental care nowadays is so strong that you could really just let all your teeth go and you're going to be just fine. I
would recommend never going on a sport court either.
Go into what?
Play on a sport court. That's where my back got hurt.
What's a sport court?
The sport court is where the surface is not cement. They put some kind of rubber plastic down. Have you never played basketball on a sport court?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in Florida they have sport court. It's kind of it's like a hybrid. It's like
back.
Clay and rubber.
Okay. All right. So Jeff's got some.
That's my advice.
Number 4, fail
Never
more. Fail
MetLife
all the time. Set yourself. I think as comics, we've all kind of, and actors, we've done. This is like how we've lived our life. Fail more. Fail all the time.
I'm actually trying to fail less.
I'm
failing right now.
To fail less as well.
Yeah.
I think with kids though, nowadays we've stopped doing this, and we're trying to, we keep giving trophies for finishing 13th place, and I keep telling everyone, I go, this is a terrible mistake. You have to teach kids that life is a bit of a competition, and I want everyone to have fun. But when you succeed and you put the practice in, you get rewarded for that. So I'm conflicted on that.
Yeah.
Anybody, Mulligan?
No, I mean,
everyone to get a trophy.
My kids just don't play sports.
Right.
So
but it's not just sports, whether it's,
anything.
Athletic, the decathlon of genius or whatever they do. What's this? Or debate club.
My kids actually really right now, the one is really into this puppeteering thing that Carlos's daughter also does, but they start him as a stagehand. So he's got to work his way up. He knows that there's a hierarchy in the world. So it's not like, and everybody's nice, but you don't just get to go and touch the puppet. You need to change the set about 700 times before you can touch a puppet.
Yeah, there used to be this theory, the
That sounds
10,000
like a
hour
first
theory.
date kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't touch
Yeah,
the
yeah.
puppet.
That's day 3, baby. You don't touch
Don't
the
touch
puppet
the
till day
puppet.
3, unless you're Russell Brand, and then you touch the puppet right
You
out.
Oh,
just,
boy.
just do this all day.
Russell
Accusation. But
Brand.
no, I think it's along those lines. Yeah, you tell them that we don't care if you strike out in baseball or drop it, as long as you hustle, and as long as you try, and as long as you practice. Like my daughter will complain, like, "Oh, this happened to me in baseball. I'm not playing. This happened to me in volleyball. I'm not." I'm like, "Well, work harder. You got to be
Yeah, I said the same
undeniable.
thing.
You got to work harder."
Yeah.
That kid worked really hard. She's talented. You're not. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, put the work in, or
And
You're
you know
not
what?
good.
welcome to
It
life.
happened with her with with acting. You know, she got a really nice role after a lot of failing.
Mhm.
Fail, didn't get it, work, and got a role. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, they always have this pivot too about, you tell somebody nowadays that something they're doing is wrong or something, and they don't even acknowledge that. They just go, "But what about them? Look what they're doing." Yeah,
Oh yeah.
they're jacked
A
up too,
lot of
dude.
deflection. Yeah. It's
But why is that
need-
guy successful? He's rich, and his father does this. That's how life works too. There's
Yeah, it's
there's no rhyme or
100%, yeah.
reason, but talent
Yeah.
rises. That's all I can tell you. So.
Yeah.
Here's number
Yeah.
5. Once you're out of school, don't keep the friends who bring you down. You really don't need that. And
Yeah.
the benefits no longer outweigh the drawbacks. That happened to me. I let some people go where I was like, dude, I can't deal with this. And
Yeah.
I have one
So
other
I never
person in
had-
my life like that, and I can't. Unfortunately, I'm married, and I can't. It's really hard to.
I just don't.
I
have
watch a
friends.
lot of
That's-
Dateline. I can help. Ethylene glycol, my friends.
What's that the code name for? Just pure alcohol? Is that scotch?
No, I feel like that's a drug.
Is that fuel?
Is that
Is
a
Oh,
Yeah.
ethylene glycol is in antifreeze. It's tasteless,
Antifreeze.
odorless. It actually makes the tea sweeter.
It does, and it destroys your kidneys, and you die from kidney failure. Because
Yeah,
I had
it's
a
just that
cousin.
your organs shut down over time unless
Yeah.
you do a massive
Mhm.
dose. But you can pretty
I
much
had
like,
a cousin
hey,
who
here's a
drank
glass of
it
tea every
with.
day.
I had a cousin who drank it with grapefruit juice, and
Yeah.
that didn't end well. It's a
You
weird-
hallucinate
Yeah.
a lot too.
Okay.
New England. It's a New England way. It's the Irish goodbye. I
The show went so off the rails.
I agree with that. Anytime anybody's negative, I'm like, yeah, I don't need this. I don't
Yeah.
need that.
I always go dark. You know me.
Of course. Listen, parenthood's dark. It's the way it is. It is. It's like every day. I was talking to my daughter today. She filled out her whole sheet like in 3rd grade. It goes, what's your favorite food? What's mac and cheese? All these lists of things she loves. What's your favorite sport? Volleyball. And then it says, what's the best thing about you? And she's like, oh, my hair. And then she goes, what's the worst thing about you? And it goes, I'm afraid of everything. And I was like,
Oh my god.
Oh,
I go, where did that come from? She's like, I don't know, just in the mood. I go, okay, we'll talk
Jason's
about
going
Wow.
through something. Jamie, I talked to you about this on the phone, but Jason is in a class this year in 2nd grade where he doesn't know very many of the other kids in the class. And so he's tried to make friends, and he vibrates at such a high frequency that he said that the kids are telling him how weird he is and they don't want to hang out with him. And so
Ugh.
it's been a very tough road to negotiate. And I told them, I'm like, look, someday these people will work for you. And that
Yeah.
will be, you don't have to worry about this. In 10 years, these people are not going to, probably by the end of this year, you're not going to see most of these people again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still
You know what I-
heartbreaking, though, man.
But isn't that
I
what
tell-
we love about Jason? You notice at the cons and the conventions, that nerd world, it's sort of everybody's accepted. You can cosplay, you can be a rabbit, you can be a furry, you could be a troll, a Star Wars character, you could be gay, straight, trans, double trans. Nobody cares.
I always
It's kind
tell
of a
kids,
fun
like,
world in that respect.
You'll meet your people. It may not happen right now, but you'll meet your people soon.
I said that
Yeah.
too. I go, you're not going to be friends with half these kids. And Katie had
Yeah.
the best advice. And that's what I always say. My thing is be kind, but be inclusive. Include everybody.
Yeah.
If you're in a
Yeah.
circle and there's some kid in the outskirts, go, come on, bring him
Yeah,
in. It's
yeah.
so hard for people to do, but it will serve you very well in life. I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 7, save your money. I can't. I
Yeah.
preach that all the time. I go,
It's
I
so
know.
hard.
kind
I
of goes
know.
directly. It kind of
Yeah.
goes directly against that life is short thing. There's some part of me that thinks,
Yeah.
spend it all, baby. You
Yeah.
can't take it with you. But yes,
Let me,
save your money.
can I say one thing?
Save your money for hospice.
This has happened to my wife and I. Sometimes we'll say, do we buy this thing? And we say, let's do it. And I swear to you, every time we go for it, something in the universe happens. The next day I book a job. I swear it's happened so many times that sometimes we go for it and the next day, damn, something good happens like the next day. It's so crazy. I don't know if that's happened to anybody else, but
No, I had advice from Jack Angel. He passed away. He was Arlene Thornton, my voiceover agent's husband. He was a much older guy, and he goes, "Just go for it. Yeah, go for it. Stretch it. Don't go crazy. But if you want to buy a house, you can make a down payment. Go for it. You'll grow.
Well, that's a good investment. Hey, we have to say goodbye to Kate Mulligan. Parental duties are taking over. Mulligan, we love you. Thank you for joining us. We only need a couple more.
Bye.
I have to go. I've got to go too.
I'm the same, dude, but I think that's a good investment. Like my wife, I used to do this joke about it. My wife would go, "We have to go back. We have to go back for Christmas this year." And I said, "You're using that term wrong. You'd like to go back for Christmas. We don't have to do anything. Yeah. We don't have to do all these things that you're saying. Well, we have to go to this. We have to do this. We have to buy this. The kids need this. We have to. No, we need food, shelter,
clothing.
That's about it. I mean, certain things this shirt's like probably 25 years old. I bought this shirt like 25. I just don't buy new things very much, but my wife's very different. I think also for women, it's more of they gotta look a certain way at times and it's harder. I think it's much harder.
Yeah.
But I would save. I mean, that's how I bought this house. I saved every penny. They laughed at me on set of My Boys because I would brought Tupperware because they put out this huge, beautiful lunch spread with food everywhere. And so I would take food home for dinner. And everyone's like, what are you doing, man? I go, look at this food. It's amazing. Why?
Never take it for granted.
Never take it for granted.
There's football players that will take home Gatorade, like whole things
Dude,
of Gatorade.
And my buddy who worked for the NBA said they were the worst. These guys were making millions and they were taking cases of Coke out the back door of the stadium. Yeah. Genius. Yeah. Genius. Yes.
They say act like you've never been. Act like
my wife gets pissed sometimes because I won't valet. Like I'll circle the block a couple times to find a spot. She's like, "It's just valet." And I go, "It's just $20." I go, "I'm not doing it." It's so bad.
I have to tell my wife, just let me know if I'm too cheap because I will go.
I'm super cheap. My wife says it all the time. But I don't. But as an actor, you kind of had to be because you never knew when you were going to make money. You had to save it, and so I was. Yeah.
But I also feel with kids, like when you have to decide, do I want to go to Hawaii? It's like, it's not just you and the wife. It's like, this is an experience for the kids. I mean, I know it's maybe not the right choice financially, but damn, they're only young once. And
I know.
Yeah. We just did that. We just did that at the Alani in Disney, and we booked it late and the rooms were astronomical. We said, screw it. It'll be great. The kids will love this experience. And it was worth. In the end, it's worth it.
You'll pay it off. Yes.
Sometimes, but I do think I went on that Eaton Canyon hike free.
Yeah,
totally free. Yeah. Honestly, better than a day at Disneyland, where I'm like, you're like, oh, I got 6 rides in over 8 hours. I don't understand the premise of sitting in line for an hour and a half on a 2-minute ride. I can't stand it. Don't cheap out. Number 9. Don't cheap out on a mattress, pillows, or shoes. Could not agree more. What else don't you guys cheap out on? There's a handful of things that I do not. I buy nice things. I'm very particular, and I will go out of my way and research it. But it's not money things. But definitely mattress, pillows, sheets as well for me.
Yeah, high thread count is a necessity.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with Katie here.
Don't cheap out on steak. Don't eat that Denny's steak or a diner steak. Just go to a steakhouse. Spend a little extra money.
Yep. I'll cook it at home. Toilet paper is so funny because you get the cheapo one.
We got single ply right now.
It's terrible. That's funny. What else does everybody in the audience? What do you guys not cheap out on? Paper towels? That's funny.
Condoms. Don't cheap out on condoms.
Don't cheap out on condoms, man.
Boy,
if you haven't been snipped, gentlemen.
I would say things to definitely cheap out on because when the babies were born, somebody sent us like $200 UGG boots for the baby, who, by the way, couldn't walk and was going to grow out of them in about a month. I was like, why would you buy? Because they look so cute. And I was like, what a colossal waste. I hate cards. So I don't know, people might get pissed at me, but anytime I go to birthday presents, I go to birthday parties, I have the kids make cards. I go, to me, it means more.
Yeah, and so much money.
Not only is it free, but it means more because you took the effort and made a card for somebody as opposed to buying and go, look what the store says I thought.
Yeah.
Hate that. Hate
Cards are like 8x10s you used to drop off at casting offices that just go straight in the trash.
right in the
Yeah.
trash, dude. Right in the trash. I can't believe people still buy like crap cards. Like Happy Mother's Day. Today's the day when I think about blim blong ding dong do. Instead of like drawing your own specific thing and maybe write a handwritten note, something that
Sometimes you
means
run out of time, though. You know, just have a stash
that's
of
what
cards
happens.
that you buy on Amazon, like 100 of them, in case
I
you
got them
run
right
out
here.
of time.
I got a box for
Yeah.
kids' birthday parties and
Yeah, exactly.
$25 Target gift cards. Happy
There you
birthday.
go.
Go buy yourself your own crap. I don't care.
Yeah.
I
What'd you
love
say,
to
Jeff?
buy locks. I don't like cheap. You
don't
guys
cheap
think I'm
on-
weird.
On locks?
Well, like bagels and locks. Like I love
Oh,
good
yeah.
locks.
Don't
It's
No,
so
you
weird,
kidding?
but
I'm the same with like certain foods where you're like, dude, I'm not eating crap food at Subway or something. I'm not doing
No.
it. I'll go. I
Sushi.
definitely spend most of my money on
Sushi's
food
another one that you can't
and
go
cocktails,
to.
like a nice cocktail. When they're like,
Oh.
oh, $22, you're like, I'm only having
Yes.
one or two, brother. I'm not wasting it. Yes, Carlos?
Contrary to the character that I played, don't it cheap out in whiskey. Buy yourself a
Oh, that's
nice
true.
Scotch, a Lafroig or a
Yeah.
Lagavulin or a Kilhoman. Don't get your Ancient Age or your Jack Daniels. That's crap whiskey. Don't cheap out on your whiskey.
Yeah.
So it's so funny. Everyone is chiming in. Mark G, sushi. Absolutely.
It's so true.
Yeah, without question.
There are a couple of supermarkets that will have like a little roll that I'm okay with, like in a pinch. But most of the time, we go to like the best sushi place. This is a really good one. Yamasin222 says, "Oh my god, I'm in a place in life where I buy good butter." Kerry
Oh my
Gold.
God,
I
Kerry
agree.
Gold.
Very
I
We
good.
like
agree
Kerry.
with
That's
butter.
hilarious. Kerry
I think
Gold
the same
is-
with olive oil. Olive oil is we have,
Yeah.
and also we have truffle salt. Oh,
Mhm.
life changing.
How is the truffle salt?
Here's one of my faves too. Coffee. Will not
Oh.
skimp on coffee.
I agree.
Gotta be
I love
good coffee. That's really funny.
You know what
I
I
buy
did
only-
that I spent money on that I like is one of those sandstone bath mats. It just soaks up all the water.
yeah.
It's
Dude,
expensive.
we got to, you know what? We got to do a show. We're going to have to do one entire show, and we're going to have to come with the items that we cherish the most. That there are a
Yeah.
handful of things where I'm like, yeah, my
It's
little
so
Bose
true.
speaker. There's a handful of things that I'm very specific about, and I will seek them out and spend the extra money on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
golf especially. Yeah.
Jamie, I
Here,
gotta head
let's
out.
leave with. We're going to leave with this one. This is the last one, and we'll go out.
We're
Number
done.
11. It's okay and healthy to sit in silence. Put down your phone, leave your earphones in your pocket, and just be. It's
Yes.
important to not constantly be stimulated. We'll leave everyone with that thought process. And I think we're all in agreement of like, I think a
Yes.
little more meditation time and a little less blah, blah, blah. So Jeff Lewis is here. Carlos Salas Rocky. Kate Mulligan already left us. Jason Gowan, myself, Jamie Kaler. We went a couple minutes over tonight, but I really super fun. Thanks to everybody
see
for
everybody.
joining us. Yeah,
Good
really
to
fun.
see you
guys.
And we will catch you next week here in the Parents Lounge.
Well, wait, Jamie, we got to plug.
Oh, we got to plug. Well, let's let Jeff go and we'll let
All right.
Carlos go, and then we'll do some.
All right. See you, everybody.
Love you
Bye,
guys. See ya.
guys. Whoa.
All right. So we are. We have a show in 2 weeks that we're doing.
2 weeks away, we have the Parents Lounge live stand-up comedy show, Sayre, Pennsylvania, October 6th and 7th. Me, Jamie, the fantastic man of 1,000 voices, Justin Ruppel from America's Got Talent and the How to Train Your Dragon series.
2 shows.
And opening for us is our very own, from the comments, Katie Bame is going to bring a little mom energy to open the show.
Mhm. We need. Well, she might have to be the overseer to call us on our BS for the rest of the show and stuff. So
Yeah, I feel like that she would
Very
be good
cool.
at that.
Yeah.
But you can get tickets at bcrac.ticketleap.com, and there are a handful of tickets left. If you want to make the trip out, it is going to be a fantastic show, and the people bringing us the show are the fine folks over at the Dandy Mini Mart who have gone out of their way to make sure that the show is going to go off without a hitch, and they are specialized and made to order and all of your mini mart needs while you are in our area.
They are. They're the go-to. I lived at that place for the 2 days I was there. Also, if you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you guys are listening to this, please rate, review, subscribe, follow, and share it to a parent who you think might need a good laugh and to realize that they're doing okay. It's we didn't get to the dad's loneliness article I read today too. I read.
Well, there's always next week, and actually, we have a great show next week. Bill Engvall will be joining us.
And then the following week is Mindy Sterling from
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers and stuff. She's one of my favorite actresses of all time and stuff.
And her son Max is joining us as well. Who last time he was here, he gave Mulligan the what for. So I'm looking forward to that again.
She deserved it. So, is that all the business we got covered? I loved it.
Yeah, I think so.
Dude. Congrats on surviving hitting a deer today. You needed it.
Yes, it was.
All right, listen, I gotta roll too. I gotta go put kids to bed and get my banana bread out of the little pan.
All right, we love you guys. We'll see you next week right here on the Parents Lounge.
Oh, that's freaking great, man. See you next week, lad.
Good night, everybody.